If you're anything like me, it's so hard to manage school with a job as well. That's why today I'm going to be showing you the best work from home jobs for students. So whether you're looking for some flexible side gigs to earn some extra cash or something more permanent, I got some unique options lined up for you. So make sure to stick around to the end of this video to get some extra tips on how you can get a better chance of landing these jobs. On today's number 7 spot, we have an AI prompt engineer. As an AI prompt engineer, you can make $15 to $46 per hour, which is about $32,000 to $95,000 per year. Now, of course, well-known companies in this industry that are actively hiring is like OpenAI, Google, DeepMind, and Cohere. For this job, you would develop and refine prompts for AI language models to improve their responses and accuracy. You don't really need any certifications or degrees for this job, but a certification in AI or machine learning can definitely help. And if you're a computer science student like me, this job seems amazing. It's a really good experience as well if you want to enter computer science or computer engineering or AI or anything like that. Some possible promotions from this job is an AI researcher, machine learning engineer, or an AI consulting business too if you want to own your own business. Now, I rate this one a 9 out of 10 just by how interesting it seems to me and how simple it could be. I'm a computer science student, so I love engineering, and AI seems very interesting to me, so this one is one of my favorites. Now, if you're interested in breaking into cutting-edge fields like AI or tech sales but don't know where to start, I've got a great resource for you. I would recommend to check out Coursera. I'll link them in the description down below. They offer free job-focused training that can help you get started in high-demand fields like digital marketing, tech sales, information technology, and many more. I recommend to try it out for free before you pay for it. You can pay for it later on if you're more interested in it and want to get more depth course, but I always like to recommend to try everything out for free before buying a course. Look it up on YouTube, do some research, and see if you like it. On today's number 6 spot is website testing. As a website tester, you can make $10 to $60 per test, which it doesn't seem that much, but it's pretty good for a flexible side gig. You can really grow it to any amount depending on how much time you have and how much you want to focus on it. Well-known companies that are always hiring for this is User Testing, Testing Time, Try My UI, or Userlytics. You would basically evaluate websites or apps for usability and provide feedback to developers. You don't need any degrees or experience or anything like that. Of course, some, experience maybe in like HTML would help, but again, it's not really needed at all. For this, I recommend just watching some free YouTube videos on it and just dabble into, website testing and see what to look for. Some possible promotions you can get from this job is like a UX UI designer or like a usability analyst. I rate this one a 7 out of 10. It seems very fun and interesting and pretty simple as a flexible side gig, but then again, you can't really make too much out of it off the bat. On today's number 5 spot, we have a virtual assistant. As a virtual assistant, you can make $15 to $30 per hour, which is about $30,000 to $60,000 per year. You can work for an outsourcing firm that will find clients for you, or take the hard route, but it's more profitable and find your own clients like influencers. Some companies that are always hiring for this is like Zertual, Time etc, Belay, and Boldly. You would basically provide remote administrative support to businesses or entrepreneurs, such as managing calendars and emails and whatever extra tasks they want to put on you. One of my friends has a lot of virtual assistants. He sells stuff, so they constantly have to update the selling listing because it kind of goes out of date. They have to respond to emails, help customer support out with like tickets and returns and everything like that. So it depends on what they want to give you. For him, like his virtual assistant also manages his team of like editors and thumbnail makers and everything like that. So this could be a pretty comfortable job. I know a lot of people are looking for it. So if you have some skill in like management or some basic customer service skill, you can probably do really well here. For this, you really don't need any degrees or certification or any experience at all. Of course, some project management certifications can definitely help, but again, it's not needed. Of course, if you go with like a company or a firm, you can get promoted to an operations manager, executive assistant, or start your own virtual assistant agency. I rate this one a 6 out of 10 just because it seems really easy, but you're going to be doing a lot of dirty work. You're just going to be doing the work that no one wants to do, basically. On today's number 4 spot, we have content writing. As a content writer, you can make $15 to $40 per hour, which is about $30,000 to $70,000 per year. Now, this one's more like a freelancing position, but you can get long-term work with someone. You can basically get this job on like Upwork, Fiverr, Textbroker, Writer Access. You would basically create articles, blog posts, or social media content for businesses or websites. And the good part about this job is, again, there's no degree required, no experience, and no certifications required. And of course, some possible promotions from this job is like a senior content writer, an editor, or start your own content marketing agency. I rate this one a 5 out of 10 just because I don't like writing too much, like it sucks. And don't use AI for this because they can track that, and a lot of people won't like AI. It's not too good for SEO. You could use it as like a tool, like, hey, generate me 5 topics to talk about in this article, and that way you kind of have like an outline of what to talk about. But it can be so tedious to have to sit there and write articles or blog posts. On to number 3 spot, we have a virtual event planner. As a virtual event planner, you can make $20 to $50 per hour, which is about $40,000 to $80,000 per year. A lot of companies hire for this. Some well-known ones are like Zoom, Hopin, Eventbrite, or Soko. You get to organize and manage online events like webinars, conferences, and virtual trade shows for businesses. For this one, you don't really need any degree or certifications or experience. Of course, a cherry on top would be some certifications like event planning, but it's not needed. And there are so many different pathways you can take from this. Some is like an event coordinator, an event manager, or you can even just start your own business where you have other people that manage events for you. I would rate this one an 8 out of 10. It's pretty simple. It's pretty fun. You can network out with businesses too and see, other paths you want to take, and you can even start your own business with this later on. So this one's pretty cool. On to number 2 spot, we have social media management. Social media managers can make about $15 to $50 per hour. That's kind of like a baseline price, but you can charge whatever you want. It's about $35,000 to $70,000 per year on average. You can manage social media accounts for businesses by creating posts, engaging with followers, and analyze performances. A lot of companies are hiring for this. Like almost every company is hiring for this nowadays. We see a lot of memes online, like the Wendy's Twitter will tweet something and like roast someone. Well-known companies hiring for this like Hootsuite, Buffer, SocialBee, Meet Edgar if you want to like work with a company, or you can start your own and kind of reach out to influencers and stuff like that. This is really good if you're studying marketing or communications or want to go into the social media field. Some possible promotions from this job is like a social media strategist, digital marketing manager, or you can even just start your own agency like I mentioned earlier and hire a bunch of virtual assistants and pay them to basically do the post for you and just reach out to a bunch of clients. I'll rate this one a 7 out of 10. I kind of did a little bit of this, but it can be very, stressful sometimes because if their social media is not doing good, depending on who you're working for, they might hold you accountable, which it might not be completely your fault. It's just how social media works. There's algorithms, there's trends. So it depends on what you're doing. It could be stressful too if the company is facing like backlash too. That can be really stressful, and that's like a huge PR situation. But it's very fun, especially if you're in college. It could be very simple. And I know sometimes you might want to step away from the computer. They can track your mouse movement to make sure you're active. So that's why I would recommend getting a mouse mover off Amazon. They're so cheap and come in clutch. I'll link it in the description down below. I like this one because it has these like ridges around it, so your mouse doesn't like fall off when it's turning it because a little sensor turns it. A lot of the other ones don't have this, so they just like slide off sometimes. And if you're away, you're not going to see it slide off. And if they're monitoring you, they're going to see your mouse not moving, so you can get in trouble. So that's why I recommend getting this one. I'll link it in the description down below for you guys to help you out. And on to this number 1 spot, we got online tutoring. Now in online tutoring, you can charge whatever you want, but like an average pay is like $15 to $100 per hour, which is about $30,000 to $100,000 per year. A lot of companies hire for this like Chegg, VIP Kid, or TutorMe. You can even just make your own hours and find your own clients to tutor. So I'm sure you guys all know what tutoring is. You kind of just help students study and teach them a little bit and give them some extra one-on-one support. You can choose something you're really smart at, like if you're super smart in math, you can teach math, or if you're super smart in Java, you can teach Java, or whatever it might be. Or you can even just find like a elementary schooler or like a middle schooler that needs help and just tutor them on basic stuff. And the way to get one of these clients is just have your parents post on Facebook that you're looking for a job. And I'm sure there's going to be some other parent that has like a middle schooler that needs some extra tutoring. And they're like, you know what, we'll pay your kid $20 an hour to teach our kid fractions or whatever it might be. I rate this one a 9 out of 10 because it's very friendly. It's very community friendly. You can, either work with a company and just kind of do it online or find someone in your community that might need help. And that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you guys found some great ideas to start earning some extra cash while studying. Me personally, I'm just working a full-time job and studying and doing YouTube. So it's very stressful sometimes, but it can help a lot to have some extra cash coming in. If you have any experience with these jobs on today's list, let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to hear it. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that like button and that red subscribe button. Peace out. I'll see you in the next video. We have a content moderator. As a content moderator, you can make about $36,000 to $58,000 a year. This is going to be about $17 to $27 per hour. Now the job details are pretty simple. That's kind of why the pay is really low. Your job is to review and moderate user-generated content to ensure it complies with community guidelines and platform policies, especially laws. This could include removing any offensive or inappropriate posts made on social media platforms. It's not just social media too. This works for blogs, any news outlet, mostly social media, or anything that will need content moderation. Now the requirements are pretty simple. You just have to have a good attention to detail, or just common sense, like, hey, is this post against community guidelines? Does this post commit a crime? Should this be on a social media site? Now, to apply for this job, it is entry level at social media companies or third-party content moderation firms. So some companies in the industry are like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or Mod Squad if you want to go with a firm. So some of the pros is that it's in very high demand as content platforms grow. They need more employees, and especially content moderation as there's more users. And there's not really too much experience you need, so you have a pretty good chance of landing the job if you don't have that much experience. And it's very flexible. You can work remote or have different shift options, whatever works best for you. If you want to try this as like a little side job at night, or if you want to do part-time if you're in school, whatever you want, they should be pretty flexible. Some of the cons is it can involve reviewing very disturbing content, especially graphic content. So if you're not too good with that, this might not be the best position for you. It might ruin your mental health. It's very toxic probably to moderate all the bad content on a social media site, especially Twitter. Now, to get ahead, I would recommend to take a content moderation course, develop an understanding of different platform guidelines, and stay on top of the content policy changes, any laws that social media sites have to follow. Things like that to basically impress the interviewer would be very nice. Now, on to number 14 spot, we have a pretty common one. This is actually the first thing I did out of high school. I still do it to this day. A customer service representative. Now, realistically, you can make a lot depending on the company. On average, it's like $35,000 to $55,000 per year, or $16 to $26 per hour, depending on your level. The one thing I really like about call centers is a lot of people are in and out. So you can get promoted very fast. So a lot of people were kind of getting promotions very easily because call centers are very desperate. So that's one good thing you can do too. At my company, I know during the lockdown, right, like everyone was quitting, everyone was staying home, no one was working. So a lot of people got promoted to like supervisor or whatever within like a year of working at the company. I would say a call center job is like very stressful. There's a lot to do and a lot of like dumb stuff you have to do, but it's very good if you want to get in the door, get a very nice remote job that pays you decently. Now for this one, it just depends on the company. Mostly you're going to want to provide customer service to customers. Just be nice. Depending on what kind of industry you're in, if you're in tech like me, you might have to do troubleshooting, a lot of stuff like that. A lot of other companies are more simple. You just help them with like billing, company policies, send someone out. If you're like working like, let's say for an internet company, you send out a technician, just stuff like that. And there's different varieties of this. You can do over the phone, you can do chat, whatever it fits for you. Now, requirements for this are honestly, you don't need much. If you have call center experience previously, it's a lot easier. If it's your first call center job, it's difficult, but not difficult, if that makes sense. It's hard to get in, but not hard. So some requirements or skills, I would say, is just be very good at communication and problem solving. Have that urge to solve a problem and provide customer service, and just be a people person. Also, you want to be empathetic, not sympathetic. A lot of companies don't like sympathetic because they say like, oh, customers don't want you to feel sorry for them. They want you to be empathetic, like what they're going, some stupid stuff like that. That would make them really like you during an interview. They're probably going to ask you like some different things, like what's the time you had a problem? How did you solve it? So like an example I would use is I worked at a timeshare company previously, right? I was like the greeter, or the lead generator. I would kind of bring them in, and then there was people in the back that would fill out the forms. So one thing I would say was, one time there wasn't people in the back to fill out the forms, and I was the only one there. I had a huge line of people. So what I would do is quickly write down their information and just call them back to come fill out the paperwork. Some of the pros, again, it's high demand. People are in and out, so you're probably going to get the job easily. There's no education required. They might, require like a high school diploma or GED. Some of the cons is it's very repetitive, very stressful. You got to have thick skin. A lot of customers are going to be angry, so you got to, de-escalate them. They're going to talk crap. They're going to call you names. It's back to back. A lot of the times you're going to get a lot of phone calls, like 60 to 70 a day maybe. It's stressful. Now, to get ahead again, just have good talking skills. Any customer support would be really good to put on your resume. anything you did. I worked at a thrift store. I kind of put that as customer support. Or what if you worked at Target, Walmart? That's customer support. You're helping customers. So just say that too. That's really good. You got to kind of be good with tech. You're going to be dealing with a lot of systems. I want to say good with tech. You're going to just have like 10 windows maybe you have to work on, 5 to 10 windows you have to work on. So you got to be good at multitasking and paying attention. On the number 13 spot, we have a social listing analyst. Now here you can make about $59,000 and $91,000 a year, which is about $28 to $43 an hour. Now this one is kind of like a marketing position. What you're going to be doing is analyzing social media conversation or trends or anything like that to collect, public data and insights for new trends coming up to help with marketing, branding, or communication strategies. Now, for this one, there's no degree required. You just got to be, very good with social media. That's one important thing. Now, a lot of these positions kind of suck to get into, but can be very beneficial if you grow your way in there. So you might want to start with like an internship or freelancing gigs or like a temporary worker gig. Something like that might get you in the door for this. Now the pros, it's very easy to get into, especially for a young audience, Gen Z, my generation. It's very simple for us to kind of get into this. We kind of grew up with social media, we understand it. Now there's high demand for social media expertise. Every company is now on social media, having interns run their Twitter or Instagram or their social media. Every company's on social media now. So it's in high demand because it can help with marketing and boosting revenue, which that's all companies care about. And of course, it's very flexible for remote because you're just going to be on social media, analyzing trends and, making data for them. So that's one thing you might want to be good at too is, like Google Sheets, Google Docs, Excel, stuff like that to like basically, analyze trends, build graphs for them and send it to them or present it to them. Now some cons, it can be stressful. You're going to be analyzing a huge amount of data volumes, which can be very confusing sometimes. And it may require odd hours to track trends in real time because trends, they come and go at different times. There's different things that can cause them, different people around the world. So you're going to be very confused, but once you kind of get the hang of it, it should be very fun. Now on today's number 12 spot, we have a sourcing specialist. Now a sourcing specialist can make about $60,000 to $89,000 a year, which this is about $28 to $42 per hour. In your job, you're going to be tracking down suppliers or companies to get the best deals on goods, services, or materials while managing their budget. Now for this one, you might have to have experience in supply chain management. That's pretty preferred for some of them, but it's not always necessary. Now one thing I would recommend to do is start with assistant buyer roles and build experience in specific industries that you want to work in. Some pros of this job is high demand across many different industries. There's a lot of opportunities to work remote, and having very good negotiation skills can lead to cost savings for the companies, which might make you some more money. Now some cons is experience in this field is sometimes required. Mostly it is required, but again, you can find some positions that don't require that, where it's very easy experience to get. It can also involve dealing with multiple suppliers and very tight timelines. Now, ways you can get ahead is gain a certificate in supply chain management or build vendor relationships through networking. That's a lot of ways you can do it too. And again, to gain some common knowledge on this, I always recommend before you buy a course or pay for anything, just start out with YouTube. See if you like it on YouTube, maybe like a free course on Udemy. And if you like it, then maybe you can invest some money and see what you want to do. Now on today's number 11 spot, we have a launch specialist. Now launch specialists make about $60,000 to $100,000 per year, which is about $28 to $48 per hour. You're basically going to help companies launch websites, products, or services by coordinating with clients, conducting audits, and ensuring customer satisfaction. You might need some experience in digital marketing or project management. That might be very helpful for you if you want to land one of these positions. Some pros in this is involvement in exciting new projects, potential for full-time or contract work. So again, if you don't want to do this full-time, you can maybe do part-time or contract work. That's really good too if you want to get experience, like hey, one project, one launch, and that's experience for you, and then you can maybe see if you like it and get a full-time position. And of course, it's very flexible to work from home, and there's a lot of flexibility in the work scheduling and hours. Some cons is there's a lot of pressure in this, especially during the launch or right near the launch, but it's very relaxed afterward. Now on today's number 10 spot, we have a medical science writer. Medical science writers can make about $68,000 to $115,000 per year. This is about $32 to $55 per hour. For this one, you're basically going to be writing and editing healthcare related content, including manuals, articles, and research summaries. Obviously, having experience in healthcare is definitely a plus, but it's not required. Mostly, you would have to have strong writing skills, research skills. Those are very needed. Now, for this one, you can definitely apply for medical writing positions in any healthcare company, but I would recommend to start with a research organization or even do your own research. That might be very impressive. Now, to get in this job, you can basically apply for a medical writing position in any healthcare company or any research organization. That's what I would recommend to start out with, is starting with a research organization. Now, some pros is it's definitely a high earning potential. You do get paid a lot for this. There's a very flexible work environment and it's mostly remote, and there's a huge growth and demand for healthcare related content. Now, some cons is you do have to have some knowledge on healthcare. Now, some ways you can get ahead to be impressive on your resume is join professional associations like American Medical Writers Association and complete the medical writing course they have, and that way you can have that base understanding of what you need. On today's number 9 spot, we have a channel sales representative. As a channel sales representative, you might be making about $84,000 to $146,000 per year, which is about $40 to $70 per hour, which is pretty good. You're basically going to be developing sales strategies, build relationships with resellers, and secure job details through channel. Obviously, having some sales experience is highly preferred. It's very good if you have that, especially in managing client relationships. Having very good communication and negotiation skills is very helpful for this as well. Now, there's a lot of ways to get this job, like a sales role in technology companies. Those are very common entry points for this career, like tech sales or whatever it might be. There's a lot of pros in this. There's high earning potentials, of course, especially with the commissions. And there's many job openings for this in many different industries. So if tech's not your thing, you can try another industry or see what you like. Now, some cons is sales isn't really for anyone. It can be high pressure. You might have to push a little bit, be very pushy and annoying. It requires constant learning and adaptation to new sales strategies, and you just got to make your clients happy and your boss happy. On to this number 8 spot, we have a digital production coordinator. A digital production coordinator can make about $45,000 to $70,000 per year, which is about $21 to $33 per hour. Now, for this one, you'd be managing production of digital content, including videos, social media posts, or advertising, many different things like that, often handling schedulings and budgets. Now, requirements for this aren't really too much. You would just basically have to have really good organization skills, time management skills, some experience in digital production or social media management would be very helpful. The pros for this is there's high demand for this job due to the rise of social media. There's many different opportunities to work with creative content, and you can definitely work remote with this position. Some cons, it can be stressful to deal with the deadlines and have to manage everyone's time. You know, some people under you might not do their job, so then you're kind of late on turning something in, so you gotta make something work, and you're going to be dealing with large workloads. You're also going to be working with multiple projects at once, managing multiple different peoples at once, trying to get all the projects together, everything needed, so it can be very stressful. Now, ways you can kind of get ahead is learn project management tools like Monday.com and practice managing small content projects to build up your portfolio. On the number 7 spot, we have one I really like, a claims reviewer. Now, claims reviewers make about $47,000 to $75,000 per year, which is about $22 to $36 per hour. In this job, you're basically going to be evaluating insurance claims to ensure that they are fair and processed properly. You're going to be determining liability, investigating evidence, seeing if they work with the policy. Now, my uncle actually does this. It doesn't require any degree. On-the-job training is definitely provided, so they train you on the job. Maybe they'll fly you out to like a different state. There's a lot of pros again with this, no college degree. It's very easy to get into, and you don't need that much skills for this job. Now, some cons is it can be very repetitive work, which, to be honest, I would take that con over not knowing what to do. Like, would you rather do the same thing 10 times or do one new thing every time, but you don't know what you're doing and you're put on the spot, right? Like, obviously, if you have a comfortable job where you know what you're doing and you just show up to work and you kind of know it all, it's very boring, but at least that way it's comfortable. It does require a lot of attention to detail when reviewing claims, a lot of paperwork, a lot of communication, but in the end, it's not too bad. Now, ways to get ahead is obviously get your license or get any certifications in insurance claims and practice analyzing claims for accuracy. Again, for this, you can kind of go on any course and get that, or look into YouTube first, see if you like it. But a lot of companies will train you on the job. On today's number 6 spot, we have a narrator for audiobooks. Now, being a narrator for audiobooks, you can make about $55,000 to $101,000 per year, which is about $26 to $48 per hour, which is pretty cool. This job is basically pretty easy. You're going to provide voice narration for audiobooks, documentaries, commercials, or even educational material. Now, some requirements for these jobs would be a clear speaking voice, good diction, and acting skills are very beneficial. Now, some ways to get in this job are start by auditioning for audiobook platforms or offering a voiceover service as a freelancer. That's one where you can literally get started right now today. Go on Fiverr or Upwork and apply for the jobs, or make a gig on Fiverr, apply for some jobs on Upwork to do voice narration. That's always something people are looking for. Some pros, it's a very flexible work environment. If you're a freelancer, you can make your own hours. Just do whatever you want to do on your own time. You can work on some very diverse projects too, which is pretty cool, and there's no degree required. Some cons is it requires a clear voice and good delivery. So you got to have a nice microphone, be very, good at reading and changing your tone like you're telling a story. And you have to spend hours reading. So it's a long time spent reading out loud. You can't stutter, can't mess up. Have to have the right speed and pitch and everything. Now, ways to get ahead on this too is just build a demo reel showcasing your narration skills, or taking a course in voice acting, stuff like that. Even if you start as a freelancer, you can definitely put that on your resume. Maybe some big time companies will hire you. I know some big time companies will hire someone off Fiverr, like a freelancer, for like a one-time project. On to number 5 spot, we have a benefits specialist. So the estimated salary is about $47,000 to $70,000 per year, which is about $22 to $33 per hour. Now, for this job, you're basically going to be managing employee benefits programs like their health insurance, retirement plans, other packages a company will have for their employees. So ways to get this job is maybe start out with HR and then move your way up there, or maybe take some courses on HR, get some certifications, stuff like that. That way you can move your way up to a benefits specialist. Pros to this job is this high demand for HR and benefits roles. This is something most companies do, especially big companies. This can easily transition into other positions that you want to grow into. You're going to work in a people-oriented environment. So if you're a people person, you can kind of work with a lot of people. Now, a lot of companies do kind of offer this remotely too. So you can maybe get it remote if you want, or show up to an office, whatever you prefer. Some cons, but I wouldn't really call them cons. It's just common sense. It kind of requires knowledge of regulations around benefits, and it can be, very annoying, and there's a lot of administrative tasks. But in the end, you can learn all those things. Like, obviously, you got to learn the laws and regulations around the benefits, which you can do that on YouTube for free, or like anything. And most companies will probably train you as well with their policies. I recommend to take an HR certification course. That way you can kind of learn a little bit and even get certified. And this can definitely help you land the position. On news number 4 spot, we have a public affairs associate. The estimated salary is about $60,000 to $99,000 per year, which is about $28 to $47 per hour. Now, for this job, you're basically going to craft public relations strategies to manage communications with stakeholders and shape the company's public image. Now, for this job, a bachelor's degree is preferred but not always required. Strong writing and communication skills are definitely really good for this position too. Now, ways to get this job is apply for a PR assistant or associate roles in public relations or communication departments. Some companies in this industry like APCO Worldwide, Zeno Group, Allison Plus Partners. Pros is this high demand for PR professionals. A lot of people, especially with the rise of social media, need PR professionals. There's opportunity to shape the public image for companies, which is a pretty fun job. It's pretty cool. And there's definitely remote work opportunities. Some cons requires managing public perceptions, which can be stressful, especially if the company's under a lot of heat or controversy. This often needs strong crisis management skills, like if something gets exposed about the company and they're getting attacked on social media, you got to be quick with what to do. Ways to get ahead is I would recommend to build a PR portfolio to showcase your work. You can also join public relations organizations for networking. On news number 3, so we have a patient safety specialist. As a patient safety specialist, you can make about $70,000 to $115,000 per year, which is about $33 to $55 per hour. In this position, you would basically ensure patient safety in healthcare settings by analyzing incidents and implementing safety programs. Some experience in healthcare, having a background in healthcare is preferred, but of course not always required. And some college or a college degree can help with this, but again, it might not always be required for some companies. You can apply for a safety coordinator or healthcare administration role as well. Some companies in this industry like Cleveland Clinic or HCA Healthcare. Some pros about this job that I like is you have an important role in improving patient outcomes. There's a growing demand for this in healthcare, and of course there's always the possibility to work remote for administrative tasks. Now, the cons is it can be very stressful for those who are not used to handling medical incidents. It can be very sad sometimes and depressing. And it does require a healthcare background for most companies, majority of them. You might get lucky and find one or two, but most of them do require a healthcare background. So maybe you want to start out as like a receptionist or something like that. Some ways you can get ahead is, of course, take like a healthcare administrative or safety management course and gain experience in patient safety initiatives. On today's number 2 spot, we have a project coordinator assistant. As a project coordinator assistant, you can make about $46,000 to $67,000 per year, which is pretty good. That's about $22 to $32 per hour. You basically are the assistant for a project coordinator, which is a very stressful job. You help support and streamline the coordination of artistic and cultural projects, managing scheduling, budgets, communication, everything like that. Requirements are pretty simple, just some organization skills, attention to detail, and an interest in arts or culture can definitely help you land the position. Ways to get this position is apply for assistant roles in art organization or nonprofits, maybe do some volunteer work too, which is really good. Companies in this industry like the Art Institute of Chicago or Lincoln Center, there's so many different pros to this company. Just a few of them is opportunity to grow in a creative field. There's no degree required at all, and you can work on a huge amounts of different projects. Some cons is it can be very hard to get your first job in the art field, and it can be very underpaying. So again, I would recommend to maybe do some volunteer work to get that experience and network too. So there's so many different ways to get in this that I wouldn't stress too much about that if this is something you really want to do. On today's number 1 spot, we have a membership specialist, which makes about $43,000 to $66,000 per year, which is about $20 to $31 per hour. Now in this job, you basically promote organizational membership, drive membership sales, and ensure membership satisfaction. So kind of like a sales position, but for a membership, like a gym membership. Now there's no degree required for this, there's no really certifications required, but having some sales or customer service skills can definitely help you land this position. You can apply to companies with subscription services or membership programs like a gym, Hulu, Netflix, some other companies in the industries like Patreon, AAA, companies like that. Some pros is there's a growing demand for membership related roles. I feel like nowadays every company is moving to membership sales and they just want to sell memberships and subscriptions. And it's very easy to get into without prior experience, and there's a lot of different opportunities to work remote. Some cons that can involve repetitive sales tasks, like doing the same thing over and over again, the same different bundles, same memberships. And you have to be really good at managing the relationship with a member. You gotta be so nice to them, even if they're so mean to you. Again, this is a customer service position and sales. Ways to get ahead is develop customer service and relationship building skills through online courses, any job experience. But again, if this is like your first job, maybe take like a communications course, get a communication certification, things like that, and try to network within organizations that offer memberships too. But that's it for today's list on 15 entry-level remote jobs you can get right now without a college. On today's number 7 spot, we have a customer success specialist. As a customer success specialist, you'll make anywhere from $50,000 to $90,000 a year. In this position, you're building strong relationships while providing technical and strategic support. Some tasks you have to do is onboard and train new customers, resolve technical issues and customer concerns, monitor customer health metrics, create customer success strategies, and drive product adoption and retention. A few companies hiring for this position is HubSpot, Zendesk, and Alt. HubSpot and Zendesk do often hire for this position. Now, this position doesn't require a degree. I mean, obviously having a degree can help. Maybe one in business can help, but also you can get CRM certifications or customer success certifications. But again, it's not really needed, but if you're having some issues, maybe look into that to see if that gives you a better chance. And from here, you can get promoted to a senior customer success specialist, customer success team lead, or customer success director, which those can pay anywhere from $80,000 to $200,000 a year. I rate this one a 3 out of 5 just because it is a great entry-level position you can get that is remote. It's similar to what I do now, but it's customer support really, and it can be very tricky sometimes, very challenging, and it's not the best for mental health, I can agree. But if you are looking to get a remote job that's entry-level and you can get it remotely right now and just start working from home, I really recommend trying this out. On today's number 6 spot, we got a software engineer. As a software engineer, you can make anywhere from $100,000 to $180,000. As a software engineer, you build and maintain software applications while collaborating with cross-functional teams, design and implement technical solutions for complex problems. You have to know how to write and review code, design system architecture. You also have to know how to debug and optimize performance, collaborate with product and design teams, and lead technical projects. A lot of companies hire for this, like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple. Now for this one, you would have to have like a bachelor's or master's in computer science or software engineering, or you can even get some certs. Now, I do know a lot of people have had luck with getting certs. So you can get like Azure or AWS certs, or even GCP certs. Just get like program certification certs like Java, Python, C++, whatever really works for you, I recommend doing that. And that's why I really recommend checking out Course Careers. I'll link them in the description down below. They allow you to take free courses to gain that foundational knowledge on certain industries you want to enter into. So I highly recommend checking them out if you don't have a college degree in this and you really want to be a software engineer. And if you like their free course, you can buy their main course, and that will kind of get you ready, or even just look up YouTube videos and study for the certifications to get those. I rate this job a 4 out of 5. This is actually something I want to get into in the future, sort of. I'm studying computer science now, and then I want to go for cybersecurity, but I really do like this. I give it a 4 out of 5. It could be very, stressful sometimes, especially if you're on the clock. Some companies might have you like be on the clock for a certain week, where at 2 a.m. they can call you. You have to jump on your computer and try to fix the code, or work on tickets and see what the issue is. On today's number 5 spot, we got a data scientist. As a data scientist, you'll make anywhere from $90,000 to $160,000 a year. Some tasks you'll be doing in this position is analyze complex data sets to drive business decisions, create predictive models, and translate data into actionable insights. So you have to build and maintain data models, create data visualization. So you have to like make a chart or like a pie graph to show them what the data actually means. You have to develop machine learning algorithms, present findings to stakeholders, optimize data collection systems. Now, so many different companies hire for this, like Amazon, Meta, or Netflix. This one's similar to the last one, having a master's or a PhD or a bachelor's, in data science, statistics, or math will definitely help you. I mean, most of these companies will definitely require that, or even getting some machine learning certifications or like Python certifications can help you. I mean, it's going to be more challenging if you just have certifications, but I think now a lot of days, a lot of professionals are understanding that a degree doesn't really matter that much, because you need the certifications, you need the experience, you need the work. So if you already have these degrees, or you're planning on, getting one of these degrees and just looking at jobs, the last one and this one are very good. I honestly rate this one a 4 out of 5 as well. I really do think this one would be something I would like as well. I would probably like software engineering a bit more, because data scientist, it requires a lot of numbers. You have to be good with data and present it, so I wouldn't want to do all that. Next up, we have a fintech support specialist, where you can make anywhere from $45,000 to $75,000 a year. In this position, you would provide technical support for financial technology products, handle customer inquiries, and ensure proper functionality of financial systems. Some other tasks you would be doing is troubleshoot technical issues, handle customer inquiries, document support processes, monitor system performances, and coordinate with development teams. Some companies that are always hiring for this in the industry is PayPal, Square, and Stripe. Having a degree in finance or tech can definitely help, or getting a fintech certification or technical support certifications, or any experience really can help you land this position. From here, you can get promoted to a senior support specialist, support manager, or support operations director, which those pay anywhere from $70,000 to $150,000. I rate this one a 4 out of 5 as well. On today's number 3 spot, we have a UX or UI designer. As a UX or UI designer, you're gonna make anywhere from $70,000 to $130,000 a year. In this position, you get to create user interfaces and experience for digital products, collaborate with product teams to deliver visually appealing and functional designs. So you basically get to, do the UI design, build design systems to show what it would look like, conduct user research and see what users like, what they prefer, how their experience is, any issues and fix them, create prototypes for software, and collaborate with the developers and see what they need and how they liked your software, like your prototype, essentially. Now, a lot of companies are hiring for this. Some well-known ones is like Apple, Adobe, or Pinterest. Now, having any design degree can definitely help with that, or like a UX or UI certification or any Adobe certification can definitely help you land this position. From here, you can get promoted to a senior designer, a design manager, or even a creative director eventually, and these pay around $110,000 to $280,000. On today's number 2 spot, we got a sales representative. As a sales representative, depending on what industry and what company, you can make anywhere from $50,000 a year to $100,000 a year, just salary, and that's not even counting commission that you can make. So essentially, we all know what a sales representative would really do: just generate new leads, conduct product demos, negotiate contracts, maintain client relationship, meet sales quotas. Those are like on the higher end sales positions. Essentially, you would just like sell stuff. So a lot of companies hire for this: Oracle, Salesforce, HubSpot, Verizon, AT&T, Amazon. Like, so many different companies hire for this. At my company, the sales team essentially just takes like incoming calls and signs clients up and registers them and sells them a plan. So you don't need a degree for this at all to get into it, or any certification. I mean, some experience can help. Obviously, like a degree can definitely help, but you can definitely get in one of the entry-level positions and grow that way. I rate this one a 5 out of 5. I think this is like an amazing remote job, especially if you want to get entry level, you don't have any degree. Sales rep, reps at companies would be like one of the best ones to get into, one of the easiest ones, I would say. It's stressful, but hey, it's a remote job, it pays good, and you can get in easily. On today's number 1 spot, we have a digital marketing manager. As a digital marketing manager, you can make anywhere from $60,000 to $120,000 a year. You get to develop and execute marketing strategies across various channels, create campaigns to drive brand awareness and lead generation. In this position, some other tasks you would be doing is create marketing campaigns, manage social media presence, analyze marketing metrics, develop content strategy, and coordinate with sales teams. A lot of companies do hire for this, like Meta or LinkedIn. Now, having a marketing degree can definitely help you land this position. Digital marketing certifications as well, or even analytics certifications, could all help you land this position and get a better chance at getting into it. From here, you can get promoted to a senior marketing manager or even a marketing director, and even eventually the CMO if you want to grind that hard and work with a company for that long. And these all pay anywhere from $100,000 to $300,000. I would rate this one a 3 out of 5 just because me personally, I wouldn't want to be responsible for this big of a job, because if things don't go right in the market, they might hold you responsible for it, which can be very stressful. And I have a bonus one for you guys, which is a customer support representative. I wanted to put this one last on the list because it's very broad. A lot of different companies hire for customer support representatives, and most of them are remote. Some might require you to work in the office, like for training, and then start remote, come home and work remote. But most of them nowadays are just hiring remote from home, like right away. So I'm putting this as like a bonus one. If no other jobs on today's list fit you or suit you, or you've been having trouble getting any job, I recommend trying this out because it's so broad. A lot of companies are hiring for it and they're in the need for it. And if you just want to work from home right away and get a remote job, I recommend trying this out for like a call center, work from home, or even do like the digital chat. A lot of companies have like live chats, and you can do digital chat as well. I prefer the call center job level, you could say, or like department, I guess. Now the reason why is because I want to move to like the digital support chat, but that requires you to look at the screen and read a lot and type a lot, which is more work, I feel like, rather than just being on the phone. And as you kind of learn all the company policies and procedures, you don't really have to look at the screen. You can like walk them through it over the phone and like work on your laptop or do something else. So that's why I kind of like it a lot. It gives you more freedom. But there you have it, guys. That's gonna wrap it up for today's video. That was, I guess, 8 remote jobs that are always hiring that you can get right now in 2025. On these number 5, so you have a customer service representative. Now, as a customer service rep, you'll be making anywhere from $15 to $22 an hour, which is about $31,000 to $46,000 a year. And as a customer service rep, you're obviously going to be handling customer inquiries, complaints, and support requests via phone, email, or chat, like a live chat. And you can do this overnight or during the day. So many companies hire for this. Like, let's be real, almost every company hires for this, but like Amazon, Apple, Arise Virtual Solutions, like many different companies hire for this. You can look up which ones have overnight. If you're looking for overnight shift, a lot of them usually do 24/7, like Amazon, like they're a big company. Luckily for this position, you really don't need any degrees or any certifications at all. A high school diploma or a GED basically works to get you in, or any like customer service experience. And honestly, in a customer service like position, like in a call center, there's so many ways to grow. Whether it's you want to go into business, you want to go into finance, you want to go into marketing, any executive position, you can definitely do that and grow. I mean, for that, you would need to get like degrees and certs, but that would definitely be something to look onto later on. Of course, the company would want to hire you in their executive position or like their business corporate roles if you're in their customer service role or like grew there. So like from a CSR, you can go to like a team lead, a supervisor, quality assurance specialist, a manager. Like you can do so many different roles. And then if those aren't for you, or like as you're building your way up, you decide you want to get into like IT or something, that's what you can do. That's what I'm doing now. Like I started as a customer service rep, I built my way up, and I'm almost done with school. So hopefully now I can move into like the, IT department instead of doing like help desk, or even like a software engineering role would be great. I rate this a 7 out of 10. I think it's a really good position. I think there's definitely a lot of growth opportunities. The one thing I just don't like is sometimes it can be very draining. If you've worked in a call center, like it's mentally draining. It's like super, super like tedious and frustrating sometimes, but it can be really comfortable sometimes as well, and really simple on good days when it's slow. But I think there's a lot of growth opportunities. It's a really good way to make money. If you need a job and don't really have good income, this is very good for steady income if you just show up. Like if you work in a call center, most of the times you just got to show up and just do what they say. Like just try your best, and you're pretty much Gucci. On his number 4 spot, we got a data entry specialist. As a data entry specialist, you can make anywhere from $14 to $20 an hour, which is about $29,000 to $42,000 a year. You basically handle data in this position. You input, update, and maintain accurate data in computer systems and databases with high attention to detail. Like you got to make sure everything is precise and exact, and make sure data integrity and quality throughout the whole process. Now, many different companies do hire for this, like Xerox, Conduit, and Lionbridge. So you can definitely get a data entry specialist position if you really are interested in that. Now for this role, a high school diploma or GED works, or some typing certifications, maybe like Microsoft Office specialist certification, or just basic computer skills would definitely help you get into into this position. From here, you can grow to a senior data entry clerk, a data analyst, database administrator, or operations coordinator. I rate this on a 4 out of 5. I feel like that's the thing I would like to do because you don't really gotta deal with customers. You can kind of like turn your brain halfway off and just like do it overnight, you know? Maybe watch a podcast, play some video games, and just do it. So I would really like it. I really like typing. I'm a fast typer. I feel like the only hard part about this would be like making sure the data is like exact. Like that can be tedious. Like if you miss a decimal point, you might be screwed. But at the same time, I feel like it's pretty much, I don't know, it's like a job you have a lot of freedom in. On his number 3 spot, we got our virtual assistant. As a virtual assistant, you can make anywhere from $18 to $35 an hour. You can really charge whatever you want. These are just averages, which is about $37,000 to $73,000 a year. You basically provide administrative support, including email management, scheduling, research, and various tasks for clients in different time zones. Now, you can honestly do whatever you really want. This is like a more broad definition of the role. Like one of my friends does YouTube. So he has YouTube, he sells clothes, he does all that stuff. So he has a VA that helps like edit his videos or, you know, like manage the editors, the script writers, thumbnail makers, and he helps like list a bunch of stuff. Like my friend has a huge spreadsheet of clothes and affiliate links. So his VA will like help update all the affiliate links, update the pictures, update the posts, add new stuff, remove old stuff. So you can do like whatever you want really as a VA or just whatever they want you to do. And you can charge whatever you want. Now, some companies to help you get into this is like Belay, Time, Fancy Hands, or Boldly. Honestly, in this position, you really don't need much if you're looking at it in like a freelance position. If you want to work with a company, you would need like a high school diploma, project management certifications, social media management, or just administrative professional certification. Like anything like that can help you work with a company, or you can literally just start it yourself as a freelancer. If you want to get into freelancing, I made another video, which I'll link in the description, on 10 websites that will pay you daily, or 10 websites you can make money on freelancing or just doing little tasks. Fiverr and Upwork are great sites to start freelancing if you want to make some extra cash. And from here, you can move up. You can become like an executive assistant, operations manager, account manager, or you can even start your own VA agency, which would be great if you want to just hire a bunch of VAs under you and have like an agency. That'll give you a lot of freedom. I give this a 5 out of 5 because you can really just do like small tasks here and there, make some extra income. If you don't know how to do something or don't want to do it, you don't have to sign up with that client. And there's like a lot of room to grow of a business. Like you can start an agency. So I like this as like a freelancer or like a business perspective instead of working with a company. On his number 2 spot, we got a content moderator. As a content moderator, you can make anywhere from $16 to $24 an hour, which is about $33,000 to $50,000 a year. You review and monitor user-generated content on websites and social media platforms to make sure compliance with community guidelines, and you have to remove inappropriate material to keep the environment safe online. Now, a lot of companies hire for this, like Meta, TikTok, Mod Squad. So, you know, you can get in with some big companies and you don't really need that much experience or even like a degree. A high school diploma works. Content moderation certifications can help. Social media expertise can definitely help you as well. Or like a communications or psychology degree, if you have that, would definitely help you get in this position. Now, you can always grow. You can become like a senior moderator, a quality analyst, moderation team lead, or a policy specialist. I give this a 3 out of 5 because there's like no long-term longevity with this job. I don't see it's reliable with AI. It's going to get bigger and bigger. So like they're probably going to still have some human reviewers because AI isn't perfect. But like I said, you can have an AI do 80% of the work and have like 1 or 2 people do the rest. So I don't know. Plus, I feel like, bro, imagine just seeing the worst things on the internet all day as your job. It's going to make you sick. Like you're going to mentally go insane just looking at the worst things possible online all day. On his number 1 spot, we got a freelance writer or copywriter, or even just a freelancer in general. But as a freelance writer or copywriter, you make anywhere from $20 to $75 an hour, which is about $42,000 to $156,000 a year. You create articles, blog posts, marketing, copying, and various written content. Like you're just writing all day in various forms for clients on your own schedule. So do whatever you want. You can do it during night shift, during the day, during the afternoon. You have complete creative control and flexibility. Usually it kind of would work by like a due date. A client's like, yo, I want this in like 3 days. So you can do it whenever you want as long as you get it done by those 3 days. They'll be happy. Again, you can work with companies like Contently, Scripted, Compose, or Writer Access, or you can just like do it as a freelancer through like Fiverr and Upwork, or just like start your own site. That's why I really like it. Or you can just be a freelancer. Like in general, just freelancing, doing work online and tasks you're really good at, like video editing, graphic design, social media management, like whatever you're good at, someone is probably wanting to pay you to do it online. But for like a freelance writer or copywriter, having a bachelor's bachelor's degree in English, journalism, or communications can help, or like professional writing certifications, SEO training, or portfolio development, like just like doing a bunch of work and learning through that. You don't need a degree really. You don't need any of that. You just have to be good at what you're doing. So like a degree can help you get there. It can prove you're good at it, but also having a portfolio of it would definitely be really valuable, like way more valuable than the actual bachelor's itself. Because like let's say you're hiring someone to build a house. Do you want to hire the guy that's like, oh, I have a degree in architecture, I'm an architect? Or do you want to hire the guy that's like, yo, I built 100 houses, here's all the houses I built and all the reviews? And you're gonna trust the guy who's built 100 houses actually and has good reviews. And you can grow into like a senior writer, a content strategist, editorial director, or you can just build your own business, like your entire own agency. I give this a 4 out of 5 because I feel like it's really good. Again, I really like freelancing, but like copywriting isn't my thing. I don't have patience to just write all day. And people still hire for this. Like, I don't think AI will replace this because no one wants AI slop written content. People want real people writing it, and AI just can't replicate a real person. So I see long term with this position. It's just like not for me. But there you have it, guys. That was 5 jobs you can do overnight. On these number 8 spot, we have a fortune cookie writer. As a fortune cookie writer, you can surprisingly make $12 to $30 per hour, which is $25,000 to $31,000 per year. And of course, for this job, you have to be very creative and write short, meaningful fortune cookies. A lot of different companies hire for this, like Open Fortune, Rooster Fortune Cookies, or freelance platforms like Upwork or freelance.com or even Fiverr. Of course, for this job, it's going to be a lot easier to get in if you have a creative writing certificate or a bachelor's in English or communications. I rate this one a 3 out of 5 because you can be very creative and have a lot of fun with it, but at the same time it can get so tedious and hard to get into. Now on to number 7, so I have a Netflix tagger. As a Netflix tagger, you can make anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 per year. Now as a Netflix tagger, you get to watch Netflix content and tag it with metadata to optimize recommendations, which this can be very fun, and you just got to watch movies and tag it. Now there's so many different companies that hire for this. Of course Netflix does, but Hulu does the same thing, same with Film Tagger. So you can basically go to many different companies to do the same thing and just watch content and tag it with metadata and help the SEO optimization. Now some degrees or certifications that can help you get in one of these positions is like a film studies degree or a data analyst certification. I rate this on a 5 out of 5 because it can be very fun to watch content all day and help meta tag it, and I'm very into SEO optimization. On to number 6, so we have a Feng Shui expert. As a Feng Shui expert, you can make anywhere from $35 to $70 per hour, which is about $73,000 to $150,000 per year. In this position, you would provide advice on space arrangement to improve energy flow and harmony. Now, a few places to look for a job like this is a home design firm or Thumbtack. Now, of course, for this position, it's recommended to get a Feng Shui certification or an interior design degree. I rate this on a 3 out of 5 because it might be hard to get in if you don't have that degree needed or some certifications. On today's number 5, so we have an ethical hacker, one of my favorites. That's actually what I want to get into later on. But as an ethical hacker, you can make anywhere from $48 to $87 per hour, which is $96,000 to $180,000 per year. Now, as an ethical hacker, companies would basically hire you to try to hack into their system and tell them what went wrong or some weak spots they have, so that way they can fix that so a real hacker doesn't get in. Now, there's so many different companies that hire for this. Some popular ones is like IBM or Bugcrowd. Now, of course, for this one, I mean, you can just kind of learn it online if you really want to, but you're probably not going to get that job. Some companies have bounties, like Google will have a bounty where if you hack into them, they'll pay you like $1 million if you tell them how. So they won't hire you, they'll just put it out there and say, hey, we have $1 million bounty for this certain task. If you can hack into it and tell us, we'll give you $1 million. Or, you know, they have smaller ones too. But if you really want to work for a company, getting a bachelor's degree in cybersecurity or computer science can help, or getting certified in ethical hacking can definitely help. But I do rate this on a 5 out of 5 because I'm really interested in this, and this is actually one thing I want to do in the future. On today's number 4 spot, we have a scientific journal article editor. As a scientific journal article editor, you can make anywhere from $20 to $50 per hour, which is about $40,000 to $100,000 per year. You get to edit and polish academic papers, often for non-native English speakers. Now, there's many different companies in this industry like Paper Polish, Editor Pro, or WordFix. Now, for this one, you're most likely to get in with having a bachelor's in English, science, or any related certifications. Now, if you don't have any of these degrees or certifications, I recommend to check out Course Careers in the description down below. Course Careers allows you to take a bunch of different courses on many different subjects like IT, HR, or anything related to that for absolutely free to gain that foundational knowledge you need to get into one of these positions. I rate this on a 4 out of 5 because it's about writing, so if you have a lot of passion and knowledge about the certain subject, why not go for for it. Now on today's number 3 spot, we have social media management. As a social media manager, you can make anywhere from $20 to $35 per hour, which is about $40,000 to $67,000 per year. As a social media manager, you'll be managing social media accounts for brands. You're going to create content for them, schedule it, and engage with the community. Now you can get a job at a firm or do this on your own as your own business or on the side or on a freelance platform, but some firms that hire for this is like Hootsuite, Sprout Social, or Social Chain. Now having a social media marketing certification or a bachelor's in marketing or communications is needed to get one of these jobs, but if you start it on your own as like your own little business or a freelancing thing you're doing on the side, you really don't need any of that. It might be hard to land some clients, but once you land some good clients and have a good portfolio, you can kind of build off that. I rate a social media management position a 4 out of 5 because if you can do it on the side on your own time as like a freelancer, it's pretty flexible. On today's number 2 spot, we have a color consultant. As a color consultant, you can make $30 to $60 per hour, and that's about $66,000 to $118,000 per year. As a color consultant, you advise businesses and individuals on color schemes for products, brands, or spaces. There's a lot of companies that hire for this like Sherwin-Williams, Pantone, or freelance platforms of course, or independent design studios. To land a role as a color consultant, it would help you a lot to get a certification in color theory or a degree in interior design. I would rate a color consultant position a 4 out of 5. On today's number 1 spot, we have a virtual golf instructor. As a virtual golf instructor, you can make $30 to $60 per hour, which is about $64,000 to $117,000 per year. Now the name explains itself. You provide virtual golf lessons using video analyst tools to improve players' techniques. There's so many different companies that hire for this like Swing Catalyst or Golf Tech, or you can even just be a private golf coach. I rate a virtual golf instructor a 5 out of 5 because if you're passionate about it and you know a lot about golf or you just love the sport itself, you can just do it on the side for fun and make some extra cash. So we have a content writer. As a content writer, you can make anywhere from $20 to $40 per hour depending on experience, which is about $42,000 to $71,000 per year. Now as a content writer, there's so many different things you can be doing, like writing blog posts, product descriptions, or social media content. And the one thing I like about this and a lot of the other jobs on today's list is you can do this as a freelancer. So websites like Fiverr or Upwork or some Discord servers, you can find clients that want to pay you one-off projects or a long-term project to write stuff for them, or write a script or a blog post or certain things like that. Some known companies that do hire in this industry is like Text Broker, Writer Access, or Scripted. Now for this, having a bachelor's in English, communications, or marketing would definitely help. Also, a certification in SEO can help you get the job or some higher paying clients. But again, you can always start out on Fiverr or Upwork for free. I honestly rate this a 5 out of 5 because if you're really into writing and doing research, this can definitely be a very simple remote hustle you can do on the side. Especially with AI, I don't recommend to use AI to write it all for you, but you can use AI to kind of get like an outline, and you can do whatever you want and write whatever you want to write about. And you can even do it freelancing. So I would recommend to start doing this as a freelancer on Upwork or Fiverr. On today's number 4 spot, we have an online tutor. As an online tutor, you can make anywhere from $15 to $50 per hour on average. I know some tutors charge like $100 an hour, but on average, it's about $37,000 to $61,000 per year. You get to teach students various subjects online, including math, science, languages, and test prep. So you can really tutor someone on anything that you know a lot about that they need help on. Some well-known companies like VIP Kid, TutorMe, or Cambly. Now again, for this, you don't really need a degree or certifications. I mean, you can always just tutor like a lower classman. If you're in college, tutor someone in like a middle school or high school. If you're in high school, tutor like someone in middle school. Or even if you're just really smart, just tutor one of your classmates. And having a bachelor's, of course, that can help a lot, but at that point you can just become like a teacher. But if you want something on the side, you can do that or get like a tutoring certificate. I rate this one a 3 out of 5 because it is, very good. It's very easy, but at the same time, you got to really help them succeed. If you're not helping them succeed, then they're not going to hire you again. And sometimes, it might be them. They're not a good learner. They're not paying attention. So you really got to focus. On this number 3 spot, we have a virtual assistant. Now, I really like this one. As a virtual assistant, you can make anywhere from $18 to $30 per hour. Or again, you can charge whatever you want, but on average, it's $37,000 to $58,000 per year. And you get to just perform certain tasks by whoever's hiring you. And usually it's like managing emails, scheduling, data entry, research, customer support, whatever it might be. That's usually what they hire you for. But again, you can kind of say what you want to do or not work with a certain client. And I like this one because you don't have to go with the company. Well-known companies is like Fancy Hands, Belay, Boldly, Time etc. But again, you don't have to work with them. You can just do it freelancing. Again, like Fiverr, Upwork, Discord, whatever like freelancing platform. If you don't have that much time, I recommend do it as a freelancer. I have some friends who they, hire VAs to schedule stuff for them, manage their teams of like editors, thumbnail makers, and like answer customer inquiries, because some of my friends, they sell products online, so they have them to like manage all the tickets and stuff like that. So it's pretty simple, and it can be very, helpful sometimes, very beneficial too, because you can do it on the side remotely. And again, for this, you don't need any degrees. I mean, of course, if you're getting into like a very advanced thing, maybe, but most of them, you don't really need any degrees. I rate this a 5 out of 5 because I really like it and it's very flexible. On it is number 2 spot, we have a social media manager. As a social media manager, you can make anywhere from $20 to $35 per hour, which is about $40,000 to $67,000 per year, which is pretty good. As a social media manager, you basically manage and strategize social media presence for brands. You would have to manage their post, engagement, and analyze performance metrics and help them keep up with the trends. Now, you can do this on Upwork, freelancer.com, or Fiverr, but there's also some firms that you can go work with at the start, like SocialBee or Maple. Now, having a social media marketing certificate or a bachelor's in marketing or communications can definitely help. And if you don't have any of that, don't worry. I recommend to check out Course Careers in the description down below. Course Careers allows you to take courses for absolutely free in many different industries like IT, HR, marketing, to gain that foundational knowledge you need to get into these entry-level positions. And I rate this on a 3 out of 5 because social media marketing can be a very hard job depending on the company you're working with. There might be a lot of HR situations you have to deal with, or a lot of like really bad PR. But other than that, it can be very fun if you know a lot about it and have a passion for it. And on it is number 1 spot, we have a transcriptionist. As a transcriptionist, you can make $15 to $30 per hour, which is about $35,000 to $57,000 per year. As a transcriptionist, you convert audio recordings into written documents, including podcasts, interviews, and TV shows. Many different companies hire for this, like Rev, TranscribeMe, GoTranscript, Casting Words. Now, for this one, there's no degrees or certifications you really need, but a transcription certification, strong grammar and punctuation skills can definitely help, as well as being a very fast typer with little to no mistakes at all. I really recommend this one as starting out because it's very easy to get into. You can just kind of sign up and do it, and you can just do it on your free time, on your own hours. But depending on who you are, if you're a fast typer, you can type really fast and no errors. That definitely might help you out a lot. So I would rate this one a 4 out of 5 because it's not too difficult, but for me, I just make too many typos. I type really fast. And there you have it, folks. That's 5 remote jobs and no interviews to make money online right now. So we have an operations assistant. The average pay for this is about $20 to $29 an hour, which equals to $42,000 to $61,000 annually. So an operation assistant helps ensure that the day-to-day tasks of a company run smoothly. You would be supporting the operations team by managing logistics, tracking projects, and maintaining communication between all departments, which for most of us in our current job, we probably see a lack of communication between departments, which is so frustrating because you're having different policies everywhere, but your job in this position would be to fix that. Some extra tasks and responsibilities you would have is coordinate tasks, manage communications between departments like we discussed, handling the scheduling, and ensuring that projects are completed on time. So the requirements for this isn't too hard. You would just have to be great at organizing, time management, multitasking, stuff like that. There's no college degree needed. Now, companies in this industry are every company with an operations department, like tech startups or established corporations, so it's pretty easy to find a position like this. Now for this one, I would rate it an 8.5 out of 10. It could be a little bit boring and very corporate, so if you like the corporate world, then this would be great for you. On to this number 9 spot as a lead generation specialist. So the estimated pay for this is about $25 to $41 an hour. Obviously, a lot of this would be based off commission too, depending on who you get the job from. It's about $53,000 to $85,000 annually, and this is just the average. You can easily work your way up or get a lead generation job with a great company that has great commission rates. So this job is pretty self-explanatory. A lead generation specialist identify potential customers or leads for a business. They use various strategies, including email marketing, online research to find and engage with prospective clients. The goal is to build a pipeline of potential buyers for the company's products or services. Obviously, some tasks could be generate leads through online research, build email lists, make outbound calls if it's a call center. I actually have experience with this. This was one of my first jobs ever when I was 15. I guess I was a lead specialist, you can call it, for a timeshare company, but this was in person, so I would have to actually approach people and get their lead, like their email, their phone number, their name, marital status, annual income, just general questions like that about people. And then what the company will do is try to sell them something later on. If they have a package deal for like, okay, you're 30, you're married, you're making $100,000 a year, you already have a house, this is what we want to sell you. Because obviously they're not gonna, try to sell home insurance to a college student. It doesn't make sense. So they just collect leads, probably sell that information, and then try to pitch them things too. Now the requirements for this is no college degree required. The company will train you. Maybe some sales skills would be needed, and you have to have a good understanding of digital marketing and communication. And of course, some companies that you might want to look into would be like digital marketing agencies, e-commerce platforms. Now, I would rate this one a 7 out of 10 because there is a lot of opportunity. You can make a lot of money, but at the same time, you really have to be a people person because a lot of people are going to be mad at you. A lot of people are going to hate you. You're basically selling something or collecting leads. So you got to be aware of that. Oddity's number 8 spot is web or researcher. You can make an estimated of $20 to $30 an hour, which is $41,000 to $63,000 annually. As a web researcher, you would gather and analyze data from the internet for clients in various industries. You would be skilled at finding and interpreting online information to help businesses make informed decisions. So some responsibilities and tasks you would have is do a lot of research online, create reports, analyze trends, and present findings to your clients. So this would be really fun if you're into that. Some stuff you can do to get ahead and possibly get the job is sharpen your search engine skills with Google or Bing, preferably Google Trends. Just understand SEO and stuff like that to gather the data for the companies. Also learn how to sort and analyze large data sets because you're going to be working with a lot of keywords, lots of data, lots of trends, everything depending on the industry you're in. So it's going to be very important to be able to put that all on a nice little graph. Something like Google Forms or Excel will let you just put the numbers in, it will make a graph for you and you can make a really nice presentation. And maybe just take some courses or watch some YouTube videos and data analysts or online research methods to stand out. Now, once you get this job, some possible promotions you can get is move into online research analyst, which that makes $52,000 to $86,000 a year, or an online research manager, which is even better. That would make $81,000 to $136,000 a year. Now, for this one, I do give this like an 8.5 out of 10 as well because it's something I'm kind of interested in. Now, it's very lonely. You can say you're going to be sitting there alone or maybe working with a small team, just kind of going through huge data sets and doing research. So it's something I kind of am good at from blogging, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to do that full time. I feel like it would just be too boring for me. Now, on today's number 7 spot, we have a claims examiner. Now, for this one, you can easily make $24 to $34 an hour just starting out, and the annual salary is going to be about $49,000 to $71,000. Now, for this, I'm pretty sure it's self-explanatory. We've all probably been through insurance claims, but if you don't know, as a claim examiner, you are responsible for reviewing and processing insurance claims. You would help the customer to ensure that their claim is a part of the company's policies and see how much they're supposed to get, what policy this would follow, all that stuff. You would have to make sure that the claims comply with both the company and legal requirements. This will help the insurance companies get through and settle more claims efficiently. Now, for this one, your tasks and responsibility won't be too much. Review the insurance claims, ensure all the information is accurate and complete, communicate with the policyholder for any extra information. Now, my uncle actually does this, and it's kind of cool. Like, he gets to work from home. Now, he has like some experience in this. He's been doing it for about like 4 to 5 years. He has no college degree. He makes about 90 grand a year, and he's barely working. He can do whatever he wants. If someone calls him, he just calls them back if he misses the call. But again, this just depends on who your boss is, who your manager is. He has like a little mouse mover he uses too. So like green light in Teams, like when they're tracking him, it shows he's active. Like, that's really cool too. If you want like some freedom to walk around the house, have kids, something you have to do, you can step away. But again, be careful with that because it just depends on who your boss is or the company. And obviously for this, there's no degree required. They will train you. I've actually thought of getting into this, but my situation is right now I'm in a high position, not too high, but like a really good position for a phone company. I'm very blessed to work remote. If I want to go into insurance, right, that's something I want to do, but it's going to take me like a year or two to be able to work from home. And I'm planning on graduating with a degree in computer science soon. So I'm going to move industries anyways. Working from home now allows me to work on YouTube, do my job and school while I'm working from home, which is amazing. So for me personally, it just doesn't seem like the right decision. But if I wasn't going to be graduating with computer science, this is what I would have done instead of the phone company job I'm working for, because I had to be in an office for that for like 7-8 months. So if I did this with an insurance company, I would have been remote now, making probably double what I am now. So they're going to train you, they're going to teach you. Once you understand the policies, it's going to be very easy for you. Now, companies in this industry, of course, insurance companies, Allstate, Geico, State Farm, any insurance company would have a claims examiner. Now, some possible promotions would be a senior claims examiner. You can make $82,000 to $131,000 a year, which is really good, or a claims supervisor, which is about $75,000 to $122,000. I would really give this one a 9 out of 10 just because of how simple I feel like it is. Of course, it's not every job is simple, but once you kind of understand the policies, you kind of know what you're doing. I feel like that's a great industry to be in. Now, at the number 6 spot, we have a case management assistant. Now, for this one, you're going to be making about $20 to $28 an hour, which is about $41,000 to $58,000 annually. Case management assistants help coordinate patient care in healthcare settings, manage records, communicate with healthcare providers to ensure patient needs are met efficiently. Now, for this one, it's pretty stressful. I have a friend that actually does this. He works for his uncle. It's a lot of paperwork. You're going to have to know a lot of clients. You're going to have to call providers, but it's a great field to get in if you kind of want to get in the medical field, get like a decent grasp of things. Your task would just be to coordinate patient care, manage medical records, and communicate with healthcare providers. Now, this one you could do remote. A lot of them probably going to be like in a little office, but you can do this one remote. It's not a problem. You're just working with, the records and everything like that. Now for this one, there's no degree required. A certification that can help you is to be certified in case manager, CCM, or healthcare administration certificate. That can definitely help you to get this because it kind of shows you already know what you're doing. So like, why not hire you? You might need less training. And of course, learning some medical record softwares would be very helpful. Like Epic is a big one. Now some companies in this industry are like United Health Group and Anthem Incorporate, other medical companies as well. Now some possible promotions from this position would be a case manager, which is $46,000 to $65,000, or even a case management supervisor, which is about $54,000 to $78,000. Now me personally, I would rate this one a 7 out of 10. I feel like it's a great industry to be in, but I personally just wouldn't like dealing with records and paperwork and all that. Now on to this number 5 spot, we have a digital sales representative. This will make you about $32 to $55 an hour, which is about $67,000 to $114,000 annually. Digital sales representatives build relationships with clients and sell products or service remotely, which is what you want. That's why you're clicking on this video. This role combines sales with customer service and requires strong communication skills to close deals. It can be timely as you have to build rapport and kind of grow with the client. Some tasks and responsibilities would be to build and maintain relationships with clients and deliver presentations to close sales. Now for this, there's no degree required, but getting some certifications in digital marketing can definitely help. Some certifications are like HubSpot's digital sales certification or Google Ads. These can definitely give you a better chance on landing the job and strengthen your sales skills and negotiation skills. I would also recommend to get familiar with CRM platforms like Salesforce or HubSpot. For this, you can literally just take an online course on Udemy or just watch YouTube videos. I would recommend before you pay for any certs or any course or anything, just watch some YouTube videos for free. If you like it and you want to invest in your education, maybe, but again, it's not needed. Now for this one, there's a lot of opportunities. Some possible promotions: a digital sales manager, they make about $94,000 to $168,000 a year, or director of digital sales, which makes $142,000 to $264,000. But being in a director position is a very high position. That will take a lot of time and experience to get to, but at least you know where you can be. So I would definitely rate this a 9 out of 10 because a lot of these companies would have commission benefits too. So the more sales you get, you can really make as much money as you want as long as you're really good at sales. Now on to this number 4 spot, we got a community manager. They make about $22 to $33 an hour, which is about $45,000 to $68,000 a year. So as a community manager, you would engage with and grow online communities for businesses, content creators, streamers, whoever has an online community, which most businesses nowadays do. You would basically help with the relationships, moderation, discussions, support, or engage in positive community experience. So an example of this would be like, let's say you work for a company, your company doesn't have a subreddit, but on the subreddit for your company, someone else made, people are complaining. You want to help them out, say, hey, I'm sorry for that inconvenience, give us a call. Someone leaves a bad Google review, you want to tell them to, hey, call us, you want to make things right. That's like some little things I've seen, but it'd be a lot more than that. That's just to give you guys kind of like an idea of something you would be doing. Now for this, of course, you wouldn't really need a college degree, but courses in social media management would help, or even a degree in social media management would help, but again, it's not needed. So companies in the industry, or basically any company, like we've seen those funny tweets by like Arby's or like Wendy's, you would want to run social media. So that's one thing you want to look into. Most companies have that. Like if you want to get big companies like Facebook, Discord, Twitch, any company literally nowadays has social media and they need social media managers. So some possible promotions would be head of influencer relations, which is $114,000 to $214,000, which is insane. So I would rate this about an 8.5 out of 10. I feel like if you're young, if you're sharp, kind of with my generation, we're used to social media, we kind of understand it. Or maybe just me, I really understand social media. So it's something very easy, just running social media, which is really cool. Now on to this number 3 spot, streamer manager. Pretty hard to get into, but it's very interesting. Now for this one, you would make about $34 to $63 an hour, which is about $71,000 to $132,000 annually. Streamer managers work with content creators, specifically streamers, to manage relationships between them and the game studio or brand. Your job as a streamer manager, you work for Twitch, TikTok, whatever. You work with the content creators and help them stream more to basically make the company more money. Some responsibilities would be to scout new streaming talent, manage relationships between streamers and companies, and ensure content creation goals are met. So you might make a deal with some guy like, hey man, we'll pay you, X amount of money, and you have to stream for like 40 hours a month, whatever. And then they do that. You got to make sure they do that. Or let's say, a streamer is nowadays like, hey man, I got a strike on YouTube. What's going on? You're kind of the middleman between him and YouTube, because we all know like social media nowadays has terrible support. So you basically just work with the streamers and support them, cater to them, help them meet their goals, help the company find new streamers, stuff like that. Some companies in this industry is like Blizzard Entertainment or other streaming platforms like Twitch, TikTok, like I mentioned. So some possible promotions from this would be head of influencer relations. positions, which is $114,000 to $214,000 annual salary, which is pretty good. I would rate this one 7 out of 10 just because it's pretty tricky to get into. And with social media, I've kind of met some people. Some social media people could be very snobby, so you got to be aware of that. But it does seem like a really fun job and very interesting. On today's number 2 spot, we have an affiliate marketer. In this job, you can make about $26 to $46 an hour, which is about $54,000 to $95,000 annually. Or you can affiliate market for yourself, which you can basically make so much money from affiliate marketing. I have some friends that actually do this, and it's pretty cool. Affiliate marketers promote products and services online, earning commissions on the sales they generate through referral links. So something you would want to do is showcase a product. Let's say you make a YouTube video like, oh man, the best keyboard. In the description is your Amazon link. When they click it and buy through there, the seller on Amazon would give you a small commission off that. This can be done independently or working for a company, and it's very flexible. It's a great career path with good earning potential, especially with social media. It's so easy to market this nowadays. I see some 19, 20-year-old girls making so much money off this because they just buy clothes from like DHgate or Shein, and they showcase it like Shein haul, and they just put all their affiliate links to everything, and people just buy them. You can do this with literally anything. And like if you're into tech, if you're into clothing, if you're into watches, sneakers, whatever you want, there's a way to do it. DHgate I recommend, or Shein, like those have really good payouts. Of course, for this, no degree is required. You would have to have great digital marketing skills and communication and sales skills, depending on what you do. If you work for a company or do it yourself on social media. So if you want to work for a company, maybe some certifications you might want to look into, or just be like Google Analytics or affiliate marketing courses on Udemy or just YouTube. Again, before you buy anything, start on YouTube and see if you like it. Maybe build a personal blog too. Now, also in the long run, I know it's not 2009 anymore, but if you build a personal blog or a strong online presence, this will help you. Now, companies in this industry, if you want to work for a company, would be like Amazon, ClickBank, or other affiliate marketing companies. Possible promotions from this job would be an affiliate marketing manager, which makes $66,000 to $111,000, or a director of affiliate marketing, which is $105,000 to $192,000. I would rate this one a 9 out of 10 just by how flexible the job is, how interesting it is. You can kind of choose your niche, choose something you like, and kind of market off that, and it's scalable. Now on today's number 1 spot, we have a job developer. The estimated pay for this is $26 to $40 an hour, which is about $55,000 to $83,000 annually. Job developers help people find employment by building relationships with companies. They typically work for employment agencies or social services, securing job opportunities for clients. That's something I'm actually very passionate about. I try to help a couple of my friends get jobs, and I've always been like that ever since I was like a teenager too. I've always been getting jobs and trying to help my friends get in and motivate them to start grinding and making some money. So tasks and responsibilities for this would just be building relationships with companies and secure job opportunities for your clients. So you have to just have great communication skills, have a great list of connections, companies that are hiring, and your clients. Like, hey, what are you into? What do you like? If they like tech, oh, I know great tech companies that are hiring right now. They're looking for people just like you, and you just connect them together. You can kind of think of this as like a recruiter position or like a scout. You want to bring people into the company. So employment agencies in this industry are like Adecco, Manpower, and Randstad. Possible promotions from this position would be like an employment program manager, which that makes $71,000 to $123,000 a year, or a career counselor if you want something a little bit more simpler. That's about $48,000 to $72,000 a year. I would give this one about a 10 out of 10 rating just because it's something I am really interested in and I have so much fun doing, because it's always something new. You're always going to be meeting new people, communicating with them. You're going to be helping companies and helping people get jobs, which is super important. So imagine how good you'll feel if someone is looking for a job and you help them find like their dream job. So that's why I'm really passionate about this, and it's just something very fun for me. So that's why I put it at the number 1 spot, giving it 10 out of 10. It just seems super fun. Now, a bonus position I have added to today's list is a medical sweep investigator. This one, the estimated pay is about $16.50 an hour, which is $34,000 to $35,000 annually. Now, if you want to get in the medical field but you're not too sure, or you're just looking at a way in the door and you want something remote while you're studying or doing whatever, this is a great position for you. Medical sweep investigators conduct telephone-based investigations to gather and analyze medical history information. You would typically work with healthcare organizations or private investigation firms, helping them obtain accurate medical histories of various clients. Some tasks and responsibilities you would have as a medical sweep investigator would be to conduct phone interviews with clients to collect medical histories, review data for accuracy, analyze medical records, and write reports. There are so many laws now in the medical field. It's very important to keep accurate and correct data for your clients. Now, there's no degree or certifications needed to get in, but excellent communication and analytical skills skills are essential for this job. For that, you can just touch it up with, again, like YouTube tutorials or Udemy, whatever you feel is right. Most employers even have on-the-job interviews, but having a background in healthcare or customer service will definitely help you stand out. Just be a great people person and have amazing communication skills. Some healthcare organizations or investigation firms in this industry is like HealthPort, Equifax, or independent investigation companies. On today's number 7 spot, we have an online meme curator. As an online meme curator, you can make about $15 to $25 per hour, which is about $31,000 to $52,000 a year. Doing this job, you would basically create and schedule memes for brand social media accounts. Extra ways to get ahead and have a better chance of landing the job without a degree or any experience is be creative, knowledge of internet culture, and basic image editing skills. For this, you can literally just learn Photoshop online, or you can even just watch YouTube tutorials and learn another tool to edit things online for free. Possible promotions from this job is a social media specialist or even a content creator. Companies that hire for this job are a lot of brands like ZipRecruiter, social media agencies. That's probably one of the easiest ways to get in here, or even influencer, or people that just run theme pages on social media sites. On today's number 6 spot, we have a pretty weird one, which is a virtual pet sitter. As a virtual pet sitter, you can make about $10 to $20 per hour, which is about $20,000 to $41,000 a year. Now, this job is pretty low paying, I would say, but it's really good for a side hustle. If you want to do a job while you're studying or even just during nights, this is a really good job. In this position, you would basically monitor pets through a webcam, interacting with them through speakers, and alerting their owners of any issues or anything major that happens. Some extra things you can do to get this position is be an animal lover, have really good attention to detail, and basic tech skills. Some companies that hire for this is Rover, Care.com, and Wag. On today's number 5 spot, we have a social media moderator. As a social media moderator, you can make about $14 to $20 per hour, which is about $29,000 to $41,000 per year. As a social media moderator, you would moderate comments, managing community guidelines, and keeping the social media platform safe and friendly and compliant with laws. Extra things you can do to get ahead and have a better chance of getting this job is have good judgment, be familiar with social media, and have thick skin. You're gonna see a lot of terrible things on social media sites, so you really gotta be mentally prepared. Some possible promotions from this position is a social media manager and even a community manager. Companies that hire for this position is like Mod Squad, Crisp, and The Social Element. On today's number 4 spot, we have a transcriptionist. Now, the salary for this is about $15 to $25 per hour, or about $31,000 to $52,000 per year. Now, for this job description, you would basically convert audio and video recordings into written documents. Some extra steps to get ahead is have very fast and accurate typing skills, attention to detail, and be a good listener. Some possible promotions from this is a legal or medical transcriptionist, or even a copywriter. Companies that hire for this job is like Rev, TranscribeMe, or Scribey. On today's number 4 spot, we have a data entry specialist. As a data entry specialist, you'll make about $13 to $18 per hour, which is about $27,000 to $37,000 a year. For this job, you would basically input and manage data in systems, updating databases, and ensuring the information is accurate. Of course, some extra pros to get ahead in this is to be very fast at typing, have really good attention to detail, and proficient in basic computer programs. Possible promotions from this is a data analyst to office administrator. A lot of companies hire for this, summers like Robert Half, Ashton Carter, or Lionbridge. On today's number 2 spot, we have a virtual assistant. Now, as a virtual assistant, you can basically make anything you want. Now, the common pay is about $15 to $25 per hour, or $31,000 to $52,000 per year. For this, it depends on what tasks they want you to do as a virtual assistant or a VA. Most of them is like managing emails, scheduling appointments, providing customer support for small businesses or entrepreneurs. If you're working with people that are like managing products, you might have to talk to the manufacturer, get that shipped out, or work with their employees. If they have a lot of employees, you might have to kind of schedule things around for whoever's hiring you. Some extra things you can get ahead is have really good communication skills, be very professional, be excellent at organization and time management, and have office software proficiency like Excel, Word, Google Sheets, things like that. Now, some possible promotions for this is like an executive assistant or an office manager. Companies hiring for this position right now is like Belay, Boldly, Time, etc. And on today's number 1 spot, we have a junior sales development representative. The salary for this is about $57,000 to $86,000 per year, year, which is about $27 to $41 per hour. For this job, you would basically reach out to potential customers, qualifying leads, and setting up meetings for senior sales reps. Of course, some extra things you can get ahead is very strong communication skills, basic sales knowledge, be good at negotiating, be good at communicating, be a people person. You got to be very energetic for this. You're kind of the front line for these sales. You don't want to be all like boring. You want to be energetic. Possible promotions to this is, of course, a senior sales representatives or an account executive. A lot of companies are hiring for this, but some of the biggest ones like Salesforce, HubSpot, or Zoom. And there you have it, remote job hustlers. 7 ways to start earning money from home. No experience and no degree needed. Whether you're diving into tech sales or just chilling at home with pets, these jobs can open some doors to bigger opportunities for you. If any of these jobs sound like the right fit for you, on today's number 5 spot, we have a scripted writer. As a scripted writer, you can make about $20 to $35 per hour, which is about $44,000 to $73,000 per year. Companies in this industry are like Scripted, Writer Access, Text Broker, and Upwork. Basically, in this job, you'll research, write, and edit content for various clients across different industries, including blog posts, articles, and social media content. Some possible promotions from this job is a senior writer, content strategist, or even a freelance writing business where you can hire other people under your freelance business. I rate this one an 8.5 out of 10 just because I see longevity in it. It's pretty simple. You can scale it to whatever you want and kind of build your own business the way you want to do it and make it comfortable for you. On today's number 4 spot, we have Mod Squad Customer Support. Mod Squad Customer Support pays about $15 to $25 per hour, which is about $31,000 to $51,000 per year. There's many different companies that would hire for customer support, like Mod Squad itself or Support.com, LiveOps, NextRep, many different companies. Basically, in this job, you would provide customer support, moderate content, and engage with online communities to ensure quality customer and community experiences. You don't really need any degrees or certifications for this job. Some certifications or experience that can help would be in customer service, of course. That would always be a cherry on top, but it's not needed. Some possible promotions from this job is a team lead, community manager, or customer success manager. I rate this one a 6 out of 10 just because for me, I don't really like customer service. I've done it so much and it can be so tedious sometimes, especially when you're locked down to your computer and your supervisor micromanages you. Sometimes if you work remote jobs, you need to take a step away to do some chores, take care of the kids, or even just use the bathroom or get a snack. That's why I recommend getting a mouse mover and using one of these. You can find them on Amazon for so cheap. I'll link this one in the description down below. This is the one I like because it has these little ridges around the mouse mover, so that way if you step away, your mouse doesn't slide off. What I notice is a lot of them don't have that, so my mouse slides off and I'm away, so then my manager doesn't see my mouse moving and they think I'm AFK, which I am, which they're not supposed to know I'm AFK, and then I get in trouble or my screen turns off because it auto turns off after like 15 minutes and I gotta log back in, and it's so tedious. That's why I recommend getting one of these, so I'll link this in the description down below if you're interested. On to the number 3 spot, we have an entry-level tech support representative. Now, this is what I kind of do. It's a pretty good job for entry-level. They pay pretty well. You can start out with $16 to $32 per hour, but if you start out $16, you can easily work your way up. For me, I started at $17 an hour right out of high school, and within a couple months, yeah, like 3 to 4 months, I already scaled up and was making $19.50 an hour. And then plus any commissions I had, and then now I'm making like $21.40 something per hour, so it's pretty good. You can definitely scale up. Now, a lot of companies hire for this. Almost every single company in the tech industry hires for this. I'll think of like Verizon, AT&T, Apple. Companies like that are always hiring, and some that are kind of outside, like telecommunications is like One Support, Cyto Group, Kelly Connect. All these companies hire these tech support representatives. Basically, you would just provide technical support to customers over the phone or online, assisting with troubleshooting and resolving technical issues. So you don't really need any degrees or certifications or experience for this job. Now, of course, having some experience in customer service would help. Now, some certifications I recommend getting that can boost your chance of getting one of these jobs is the Google IT Support Certificate or CompTIA A+. Now, these ones are more catered toward higher end tech support representative jobs, but again, they can always help for any job. I rate this one a 7 out of 10 just because it depends on what industry you work in. It can be very tedious and frustrating depending on the company, but if you get a great company that provides great benefits and it's a very, clean work environment, it can be amazing. If you're serious about breaking into tech or digital careers, you should definitely check out Course Careers. They offer free job-focused training that can help you land roles in IT support, tech sales, HR, and many more. I'll put a special link in the description so you can try it out for free, and if you do like it, you can then purchase the course, but you can start it out for free and see if you enjoy it first. On today's number 2 spot, we have a deal hunter. As a deal hunter, you can make $20 to $25 $50 per hour, which is about $40,000 to $50,000 per year. Well-known companies in this industry that are always hiring is like Slick Deals, Honey, Retail Me Not, and Deal News. Basically, for this job, you would get to research, curate, and publish the best deals and shopping trends for online platforms, helping users save money. So you won't really need any degrees or certifications for this job, or even any experience. Now, some SEO experience or certifications can help. Some possible promotions from this job is a digital marketing manager, a SEO strategist, or even a content manager. I rate this one a 7 out of 10 just because of how flexible it can be and how unique. And on these number 1 spot, we got a visual interpreter, which can pay you about $20 to $30 per hour, which is about $40,000 to $66,000 per year. Well-known companies in this industry that are always hiring is like Be My Eyes, Vision Aware, and Scribe. Basically, for this job, you would provide visual assistance to blind or visually impaired individuals, helping them navigate daily tasks via phone or specialized software. Now, for this one, you don't really need any special degree or certifications, but some customer service experience is definitely beneficial. Some possible promotions from this job is like a team lead, accessibility consultant, or training specialist. I definitely rate this one a 9 out of 10 just because of how flexible it could be and how, you feel good at the end of the day. You're helping someone as well as getting paid, which is amazing. And I got a special bonus job for you guys, which is a claims resolution specialist. As a claims resolution specialist, you can make $24 to $34 per hour, which is about $51,000 to $75,000 per year. A lot of companies are hiring in this industry, specifically insurance companies, but some well-known companies in this industry that are hiring is like United Health Group or Liberty Mutual. For this job, you basically work on resolving issues with insurance claims to ensure accurate and efficient processing, often with healthcare or insurance industries. Now, for this job, it can be difficult at the start. You might have to go to the office and can't necessarily work from home, but once you kind of get the hang of things and learn the company's policy, it's like a piece of cake. It is a lot of paperwork though. You really don't need any degree to get this job. My uncle actually got this job without a college degree. He's been in the industry for like 5 years now. He makes like $92,000 a year. He works from home, and some days when he doesn't have too many claims, he just freely walks around and does whatever he wants. Some weeks he works like 20 hours a week but gets paid for 40 because he uses one of these guys and just walks away, gets away with it. His manager thinks he's working, so these mouse movers come in clutch, especially if you're going to work from home. Some possible promotions you can get from this job is a claims analyst, a claims manager, or even an insurance specialist. I rate this job a 10 out of 10 just because of how flexible it can be. Sometimes it can be very easy. I mean, of course, every job has its difficulties, but I really like it. Now, I would go into this position if I wasn't almost done with school. Right now, I'm working from home at my current job, so if I switch up careers, I'm going to have to go to the office for like a year or two, or even just a year, and then I get to work from home. And then I'll be making around the same, and after a couple years, then I can grow to make a lot of money, but by then I'll be done with school, so I wouldn't really want to work in insurance. Maybe I do though in the future, who really knows, but right now I'm studying computer science. But that's it for today's video.